So, ladies and gentlemen, NTB, man, there's 1,001 stories coming out of the family courts, but there are recurring themes that I've seen over the years and I've heard about over the years. And this video is just addressing one of the many. But this is definitely a recurring one that I've seen and I've heard. And a good reason to avoid the courts. You have to avoid the courts. Last video I did, ladies and gentlemen, NTB, is on having a plan, right? So this video, I'm going to talk more about something that could throw a monkey wrench into your plans, and that's the American court system. What I want you to do is, like, when you're developing your plan, right, put in your plan a definite strategy or a definite to-do is to avoid the courts. You have to write that into your life plan. Avoid interaction with the courts for a number of reasons. Let's talk about criminal court, let's talk about family court, and then we'll talk about civil court. All right. So family court is based upon a model, allegedly, that gives preeminence to the idea of family, right? Being together, keeping the family together. And what a lot of people don't know too is that family court deals with a lot of adolescent issues, juvenile issues, right? So juveniles are processed in family court. The notion is that juveniles are different from adults. And so the notion is that we want to deal with them differently, right? And so a lot of our young people get arrested. You know, this is speaking to my young people right now. They supposedly would do better if they get processed through family court rather than the adult courts, which would be criminal courts for criminal related activity. That's all a gimmick too, to a large extent. We'll talk about that possibly in my next video, because family court be processing so many of these young people, and you would think that they're being prosecuted for like super serious crimes. That's really not the case. Some of the crimes these young men are being prosecuted for, and young women, are just like fights after school. I've represented a number of young people charged with just fight at 3 o'clock, fights after school, and the hammer was trying to be placed down upon them by the courts. But gentlemen, and this is why I say you get caught up in the courts, it can totally throw a monkey wrench in your plans, because that court system will suck you dry, man. It takes so much from you. I watch just so many young people, older guys too, go into that family court system for family court related issues, custody, visitation, child support, and you know, they come out of there literally traumatized, man. They not ready, you know, for what they encounter there. It's brutal. It's brutal because, you know, as a man, you come in there with this perception that, okay, I'm a man, I'm a good man, I'm trying to do the best thing for my child, but then the judge is going to be the decider of that, you know, or the magistrate is going to be the decider of that. And a lot of times the judge or the magistrate may not see manhood the way you see manhood. They may see manhood as, are you doing X, Y, and Z, rather than being an example. You know, I had a client, he was taking his children on cruises, he was taking them to Disney World, he would buy them all kind of gifts and clothes, but he wasn't giving the mother a set amount of money every month, although the set amount of money that she would be required to receive every month would be less than what he's doing for them in terms of gifts, presents, money in hand. She would receive less. The court felt that other things that he was doing was basically insignificant. You know, it was just poo-pooed away. Like, you know, well, are you giving the mother money in hand? That's all I really want to know. And if you're not, do not call yourself a good father. It's this money in hand idea, and it's a shock to the conscience because the man is thinking he's a great father. The children think he's a great father, and it's humiliating. It's traumatizing because you come out of court like, what the F just happened? Like, no credit, no good work, no, I appreciate what you're doing for your family. None of that. It's you're not doing what you're supposed to do. It's a scolding from on high, like you're a child. Seriously, basically, the scolding is like you're a child, like you're a loser, like you're a deadbeat. And no one is calling you that. The person suing you for child support is not really even calling you a deadbeat. They just want money. But there's no credit. There's nothing. You get nothing. So you come out of there feeling almost violated. And then you have to come back. And then if you come back, a lot of times you come back, you're upset, you're disappointed, you're angry because the posture of the court was so contentious to you when you felt that you was doing the right thing. And so now the court is picking up that there's some contentiousness in you, and now it's a battle of wills. So now you have to basically bow your head or try to stand up for yourself. You stand up for yourself, you put yourself in a position for a bad ruling from the court. You understand? Because already the court has already established that they not feeling the way you doing things, and they let it be known, and they let it be known sometimes in such a disrespectful form and fashion that you lose respect, not necessarily for the ruling, but the lack of empathy sometimes that you feel. This is what I get from my clients, that they feel came to them. There's no credit, because you got guys out here who are pumping and dumping, getting these women pregnant and just leaving. You're not that guy. You're there from day one. You was at the birth, you was at the shower, you was at the Christian party, you go to church with your children, you travel with your children love you, you love them, and the court sitting there stone-faced like, are you paying money to the mother? You have to pay this amount of money to the mother. Well, Your Honor, what I was doing, I was just picking up the bills. So did you hear me? You have to pay money to the mother. That's all I want to know. Are you paying money to the mother? And if so, how much are you paying to the mother? And you can feel the boiling of, like, this is crazy. Where's my respect as a father? I'm not a deadbeat. I'm not one of these pump and dump dudes. I'm a good man. Yeah, your mind you are. I just say, just stay away from them courts, man. One of the ways to stay away from the courts is, and I go a little bit further. Okay, so now there's a order in place, and it's so funny because I've seen this a couple of times where the money that the order is for is less than what the father is given. So now the father, he has a dilemma, because the father is so used to, giving all this money, gifts to the child out of his own pockets. But now the courts is also saying, you, on top of that, or in place of that, you got to give this amount of money. Okay, cool. So now I'm giving this amount of money. Now I really don't have the money to do the things that I was doing with my child. I don't have the money to do it because I'm barely getting by. All right. So now the children are looking like, Dad, we used to do this, you used to do that, you used to always have money for me here. So how does the father navigate that? Well, I'm giving it to your mother. Or are you getting anything? No, I'm not getting anything. Mom don't give us anything. But mom is saying, she's buying this, she's buying that. But the courts are not really clocking what she's doing with this money. It's just going to her. And so the kid, basically financially challenged, and it's almost impossible for him to keep doing what he was doing before because he just doesn't have the funds to do it. You understand? And so the children now are feeling it. They feeling the effect. And sometimes children can't process information, you know what I mean? And they can't process the fact that, things have changed since Dad came back from court. And they weren't there, so they don't know what happened. They might not even know that he went, but all they know is that Dad seemed like he's pulling away, meaning he's not giving as much, he's not taking them on trips like that, and now they getting in their feelings. And if the mother is not on point, telling them this is what's going on with Daddy is not feeling less loved. Daddy is just, his pockets are tight now because the judge hit his pocket, because the judge hit his pocket. So how do you fix that? How do you overcome that feeling? And a lot of times they won't even say, they won't even tell the child. And this is where it gets real insidious. The woman is not really an ethical person. She'll start playing games. Daddy don't love you, that's why he's not doing this. If he loved you, he would take you. He used to take you. Now all of a sudden he ain't got money to do this. He's not taking you here. If he really loved you. And, they started getting into the child's head. So they're causing contentiousness in the relationship. And now the relationship, the mother is bad. And now the relationship with the children is starting to go south. And it's just, and then if the father doesn't really know how to handle it and manage it, he starts getting in his feelings. And he's like, yo, this is crazy. And so now when he does come around, he's really not the same. He's angry, All right. So anyway, I'll talk more about that next one, and then the same thing with criminal court. Yeah, stay away from that. That'll be the next one. This one been long enough. Anyway, we'll talk some more. Don't let those court ruin your plans.